I'm Charly and today I'm going to be talking about some books that I read quickly. So I saw this video done over on Whitney's channel at Whitney Novels, which I will link up here somewhere. I don't know, I think it's in this corner, the little eye thing, I like that thing. But yeah, it's basically just going to show you 6 books that I flew through, and I don't fly through many books. As some of you may know, I'm quite a slow reader, so if I fly through a book, then you're probably going to read it in about 2 seconds. So yes, these are in no particular order at all. I have a pile and I'm just going to go from the top to the bottom. Yeah, the best is kind of at the bottom though. So the first book I have is Ruby Red by Kirsten Gier, and just in general this whole trilogy, which is Sapphire Blue, Emerald Green here. I have book talks on all of these books and I will link that up here again. These books, I didn't give any of them 5 stars. I gave all 3 of them 4 stars, I'm pretty sure, but they're really fun. And if you don't know, these books are about time travel and they are translated from German, so they're kind of weirdly written as a result of that, but they're also really fun to read and I flew through them. I need to put him back now. This is gonna be... The next book I have is Shatter Me by Tahereh Mafi, also this entire trilogy, which is Unravel Me over here and Ignite Me here. But this one in particular, I think I got through the quickest. These books are also just loads of fun and I gave all of them 5 stars. Probably my favourite dystopian trilogy, unless you count Chaos Walking as dystopian, which I counted as more sci-fi survival, but favourite pure dystopian. This was just so good. The writing style is really what does it for me. Tahereh Mafi, it just has like really beautiful poetic writing style, and I also have a book talk on this book and I think on the 3rd book, but not the 2nd book, so I'll put that up here as well. And yes, it is just a lot of fun, and this first one is really short, and yeah. The next book is one that I finished very recently, and that is Anna and the French Kiss by Stephanie Perkins. I just filmed a book talk on this like 5 minutes ago, so that should be uploaded before this video, so I will link that up here as well. And you guys have probably all already read this, but this kind of took me a while to get through, but that's because I didn't have time to read, but when I did sit down and read, I actually got through it really quick, so that's why this is on this list. It's the same with a lot of the books on this list. I didn't necessarily read them in like a day, but when I did sit down and read them, I got through them quick. So yes, this book is great. I'm not going to say anything else because I just filmed a book talk. The next book I have is so far my favourite book of 2015, not that I've read many books this year, but that is All the Bright Places by Jennifer Niven. Oh man, this book is so good, okay? I tried to film a book talk on this, but then I didn't like it, and I can't really try again because it's too late now. But I'll do this in a book reviews video at some point. But this is about a boy and a girl who are both kind of suicidal. They basically meet on a bell tower, like on the ledge of a bell tower. And I don't want to tell you much more than that because it's not that long, but if you like John Green's books, then you'll probably like this. And I'm not saying that this is anything like John Green's books because it's not. The writing style is completely unique and so is the story. But I just think if you like John Green's books, then you will like this, and also I flew through it, so yes. Second last book that I have to show you is The Knife of Never Letting Go by Patrick Ness. Yes. Oh, Patrick Ness. If you guys don't know, Patrick Ness is my favourite author of all time and probably always will be. Just, like, you need to read this because not many people dislike this. I don't think I've heard anyone dislike it. I've only heard 4 and 5 stars. Mostly 5 stars. This is just so good. I have a trilogy review of this, but it's really long, but if you want to watch that just for the start of it, then you can, it's up here again. And yeah, this follows a boy called Todd in a dystopian sci-fi setting, and he lives in a world where everyone can hear each other's thoughts in something called noise, and so there's no privacy, and it's never silent because of the noise. And one day he stumbles upon a spot of complete silence, and that is unheard of, and then he just has to run. That's basically all. I flew through this both times I read it. The first time I read it in like year 7 many years ago, and then the second time I read it like in 2013 or 2014, I don't remember. But yes, you just need to read this. If you're my friend on Goodreads and you haven't read this, You know what the problem is, don't you? You swore an oath, my friend. And the last book I have to show you is also Patrick Ness, and that is More Than This by Patrick Ness. I read this like the month that it came out, and it was during my year 10 exams, and I read it in like 4 days. And it's pretty big, but it's so like suspenseful, and you're like, whoa, stop it, Patrick Ness. I can't tell you much about this one at all, because basically all you can know is the book starts out with a boy that drowns, and then he wakes up. And that's all I can tell you. Can't even tell you the genre, that would be giving it away. But this book, out of all of Patrick Ness's books, I think this is the one that I've heard the most mixed reviews about, except for like The Crane Wife and stuff, but out of like A Monster Calls, this and Chaos Walking, I've heard the most mixed reviews about this, but I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. I might be biased, but I've also heard other people really love it. So I would recommend starting on other Patrick Ness books, but I did fly through this one, so if you haven't read this yet and you've read his other books, then you definitely should read this, because it doesn't disappoint if you are a Patrick Ness fan. So that is all for the books that I read quickly. Let me know what books you flew through, because I need more books that I can fly through so that I can get through more books. Can you see any on my shelves that you flew through that I should read? Can you? I've read many of these books, but tell me anyway, friend. So that is all for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in my next one. Goodbye!